Space Jam: A New Legacy is the brand new film releasing simultaneously in theaters and on HBO Max with no extra cost. The film stars LeBron James, Don Cheadle, and Zendaya, and tells a story about obviously LeBron James playing himself. He's having little issues with his son. His son wants to create video games while LeBron wants him to play basketball. But once they are both captured by Ali G, the algorithm played by Don Cheadle makes a bet with LeBron that he'll beat him in a game of basketball to save his son's life, or to get him out of this virtual reality. Warner Brothers versus World. The film is an hour and 55 minutes and is PG. My name is Max Zimmer. Welcome to a brand new movie review here at Max Movies. We're talking about Space Jam: A New Legacy. I know a lot of you guys are interested in seeing this weekend, possibly in theaters on HBO Max. So please leave a like, guys. That's the best way to support this channel. Also, please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Do movie reviews, TV show reviews, a box office breakdown show, and a movie rankings. I do all of those on the channel. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. Also, please comment down below your non-spoiler thoughts if you've seen or not seen the film already of this new film. Do you like the first one? Do you have nostalgia for the first one? Which film do you prefer, the first one or the second one? And tell me also, if you were to check this one out, which outlet are you gonna check it out in? Are you gonna watch it at home on HBO Max, or are you gonna go to the Cineplex and see it in a movie theater? Without further ado, my non-spoiler review begins now. So I was lukewarm on this movie. I was a kid, obviously. I'm not a 90s kid, but I did watch the first film as a kid, never really loved them. I thought it was fine. It was never the sports movie that I ever turned on if I was ever going to watch a sports movie. It's not The Sandlot, for example. It's not Rudy on those type of levels for me. So I don't really have nostalgia for the first one. I don't have nostalgia for the Looney Tunes. LeBron James, I'm not here to talk about who's better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan. LeBron James in my lifetime is just my favorite athlete of all time. I think he's the greatest basketball player of all time, all these types of things. Don't hate me, comment me in the comment section down below. But I'm excited to see him. Again, I liked him in Trainwreck. Again, he is also playing himself in Trainwreck. Totally different movie. And I was hearing some mixed things. My friend saw it a bit earlier than me. He really didn't like it. And it was weird. We talked about this the other day, me and my friend who are on this podcast together. We talked about how this movie was very much hyped when we had castings. Everyone was talking about this movie, the first trailer, everyone was kind of talking about it. And the closer we got to this release date, it feels like the talk of this movie has really died out. And this is where we're going to talk about the movie. I really did not like this movie on many levels. There are a little bit of positives I want to talk about with the film. The only thing that I really loved about the movie was Don Cheadle. He's having the most fun in the movie because he knows exactly what movie he is. He's the villain of the movie. He's like the algorithm who controls the Warner Brothers universe. And he is by far the best part of the entire movie. It's the funniest jokes. He's the most entertaining person to watch on screen. And at times it's weird. The movie obviously doesn't want you to do this, but you're kind of rooting for him at some points in the movie, which is obviously not what you want to do when your main hero is LeBron James. But Don Cheadle knew exactly what movie he was in. He clearly had a blast making the movie. And he was such a fun character to see on screen. Every time he was on screen, the film had a lot more life to it, and he needed a lot more Don Cheadle in the movie for sure. Zendaya is also very good as Lola Bunny. She doesn't get enough screen time, but having Zendaya voice her completely elevates the character as well. And easily the best part, I guess, of the movie is the last 30 minutes, where it's just the basketball scene. There are some fun cameos in there. Some jokes work, but I can't talk about the movie because I really did not like this movie. And I think it's really terrible in a lot of different ways on why this movie did not work. First of all, let's start with LeBron James. Again, I liked him in Trainwreck. He's my favorite athlete of all time. He was not very good in this movie. And I think it has to do with the script, but it also at times does have to do with LeBron's performance. Now, I also don't totally blame LeBron because he's not an actor, of course, but he's also acting to nothing, really. It's all CGI around him. And luckily, I guess they thought he couldn't act because most of the movie, he's just a CGI animated character. He's in the Looney Tune world in animated form for a big chunk of the movie. I would say the first 15 minutes, he's actually LeBron James, and maybe the last 30 to 40 minutes of the movie, he's LeBron James, but there's a huge chunk of this movie where he is in Looney Tunes animated form. So, but there are some scenes where they're trying to be serious and have this message between LeBron and his kid, and he gives this long monologue It's really awful. There's some reactions that he should be having as an actor. He's very mellow and not enthusiastic. It was a big disappointment. Some of this movie also is just awful story-wise. We have LeBron is so unlikable. You really, as I said, you're kind of rooting for Don Cheadle in the movie at points in the second act for sure, because LeBron is such a jerk to his kid. I mean, such a jerk to his kid in the first act of the movie. And you totally get why his son wants to join Don Cheadle instead of LeBron, because LeBron is being such a jerk to him in the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie. But then his kid kind of disappears from a big chunk of the movie, and the whole message of the movie goes away in the second act. Once LeBron is stuck in the Looney Tune world, they never go back to the theme until maybe the last 5 minutes of the movie. And I also just want to see some cool basketball scenes, and there's none to be had in the movie. Just like in the first one, there should have been more simplicity. Like the first one was a little bit more simple. It was truly a basketball game that was happening. When you get explained where they're playing the basketball game on, what are the rules, it absolutely makes no sense and takes all the fun out of it, because you want to see LeBron play basketball. You don't want to see this type of basketball, if you know what I mean, when you see the actual movie. LeBron feels like he has these camaraderies with other Looney Tunes characters. It feels like you missed all of that character development off screen, how LeBron just is friends with everyone. He has these little bitty storylines. They also throw so many characters at you. The movie at times is hard to follow. And if you've seen this trailer, you know the scene where the big basketball scene at the end of the movie, it's so distracting because you have all these Warner Brothers IPs just hanging around the basketball court. And you're not sure if you should be watching the people in the crowd because you want to see all the Easter eggs, or you should be actually watching the main thing of the movie, which is the basketball game itself. And it's so distracting. You have no idea where to look. And it's so CGI'd. At times, it feels like they filmed no scenes in an actual on-location film. And the biggest complaint I have with the movie is just a Warner Brothers advertising movie. They're basically bragging about all the IPs they have: Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, DC. They're all thrown at you. Mad Max, Wonder Woman. They're all thrown at you in sometimes unique ways. Lola Bunny's scene where she's interacting with the mascara, that's a very fun scene. The Mad Max scene is very fun. The Matrix scene's fun. But it's just popping into basically Looney Tunes ads that happen to be in ads of other Warner Brothers movies. And this movie wants you to be fully in love with Warner Brothers and wants you to love Warner Brothers. Now, I actually liked Ralph Breaks the Internet. I know a lot of people don't. I enjoyed the way they blended the Disney aspect with our actual characters. But the way they handle it here is so cheap, and it just feels like it's making fun of itself at times as well. And when you don't have any character to latch onto, I mean, you don't care about anyone in this movie. They're basically telling you LeBron James is in the movie, so care about him because he's LeBron James. That is not a good script. And there's actually 6 people on IMDb credited as screenplay writers of the movie. I mean, why? This is such a simple movie. It's not asking for a lot. Just turn your brain off. And the movie is, again, merely for kids. If you're an adult and you're going to go by yourself, I'm not sure you're going to enjoy this film at all. There's so many child jokes that there's also a lot of adult jokes. They go to Game of Thrones and you're like, why are our kids going to get Game of Thrones or Mad Max references during the movie? And the animation, they redo the animation for the last big basketball scene with the Looney Tunes. I think it's awful CGI. And just the whole movie just feels so fake. And it just feels like a Warner Brothers advertisement, but it's 2 hours long, not a 30-second commercial about Warner Brothers. It's 2 hours long. And it just happens to be a Space Jam movie, because really it's not. It's just LeBron in an advertisement for Warner Brothers, but it's actually a movie called Space Jam. That's what the movie is. And it's so disappointing because Don Cheadle knows exactly what movie he is. So does Zendaya's Lola Bunny. But for the rest of the movie, some people are taking this movie way too seriously. LeBron's family, they are so serious in this movie, that's including LeBron. And the whole game itself makes no sense. What's going on, how people are getting points, why it's even close. And Don Cheadle seems so unstoppable. It makes no sense when you see what happens with his character at the end of the movie. So overall, guys, I really did not like this movie. I knew it was not going to be good, but not this bad. So guys, I'm going to give Space Jam: A New Legacy a 1 out of 5 stars, guys. Sadly, I'm going to give us a 25%. It is, for me, one of the worst movies of the year thus far. Are kids going to enjoy it? They might have some fun with the movie. If you're a basketball fan, maybe you'll have some fun with it. But if you're here for a story or to get wrapped into any characters or you want any stakes, there's none of that in this movie. So that's my thoughts on Space Jam: A New Legacy. Like the video, subscribe, do all those things. You want to see more movie reviews, click the link next to me. My Fierce reviews coming out this weekend and my box office breakdown shows coming out this weekend. We'll see how Space Jam does at the box office. Find out on Monday on this YouTube channel. I'll see you guys very, very